I was walking all right, but all of a sudden, at the age of 6, it just happened that I became disabled and I couldn't walk again. I crawled on the ground for almost 7 years.
I was sick, so they sent me to hospital, and the way they injected me, that one affected my leg. So it came to some time that it can't function again. I stayed with my grandfather and grandmother for a long time, which is difficult for me because I'm in the house, I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting in the house. My family, they disown me because I can't be able to do anything for them. Even sometimes they'll tell me that when will I come to be somebody, however I will take care of them. So it was difficult for me to even help them. But I hope by God's grace I was able to.
At the age of 12 years, I was taken for orthopedic surgery, and I was given crutches and pairs of calipers to actually learn how to walk again. I just had to muster courage over myself and then see exactly what I can do, because I knew once the surgery was done, the next thing to do was for me to do everything I could to walk. I just thought that it's not actually good for me to be sitting in the house like that. So I had to get myself to do something.
People think that when you are a disabled person, that means there's absolutely nothing you can do to improve your life and also contribute as far as development is concerned. My name is Isaac Mohamed Yusuf. As you can see, a physical challenge. However, I am the secretary for the Disability Resource Center. I'm also into voluntary service to one of the schools in Kumbungu here.
Whenever there is a community gathering, there was this kind of perception that PWDs should be relegated to the background. There were these kind of perceptions that no suggestion could be given by any PWD for any developmental project to take place. And there were many people who actually associate themselves with, excuse me to say, is ignorance and stigmatization. These are people who would not even want to encourage you to actually be part of them. So there were PWDs in their various homes who have never been to school. But when we were just behind closed doors, nobody hear anything about this, it was just very difficult.
There's a saying that together we stand and divided we fall. So when we stand as an individual, it was difficult for us to make our voice heard. People find it very difficult to respect our views. There are some areas, as I speak to you now, you go to see that disabled people are kept inside rooms. Their parents find it very difficult to expose them to a social community. So because of this, we deem it necessary that it's better for us to come together.
We came out with this association and we tried to identify exactly what each and every member can do for themselves. And then people said, wow, something is actually happening somewhere. There is a secret there. And what secret is that? That was where World Vision came to our aid. They took us to a radio station and they got us some airtime so that we talk to the people to understand the motive behind that association that we are forming. And that is something that gave us the strength to make the association a very unique one. And believe me, before the end of the program, when we gave out our numbers, people started calling us that I have a PWD in my possession and I want him to be part of your association. They used to hide them. They never wished to bring them out for people to even know that they have PWDs in their possessions.
Some of them were given crutches because some of them find it very difficult to walk. And some of them were given wheelchairs or tricycles to be able to move from their communities. And some of them are now in private schools.
And then people start saying that they never knew until today that PWDs could speak like this. It means that we are making an impact.
Initially, I actually saw people living with disability to be the weaker part of the community, so that if there was anything, the normal people were to take the lead and they were to follow. I also saw people living with disability as people who needed help all the time.
There were people who never even thought they could carry a gallon of water from where they fetch the water to their house. Myself, when I came back after the surgery, I couldn't carry a bucket of water. So if I have to bath, they have to fetch water for me. And this is something that is very important in the lives of every individual. There is no day that you get up without using water. Now, when we are talking about latrines, as a PWD, we find it very difficult to use the public toilet.
Initially, some of them used to go to the bush to squat. The mercy of the sun, snakes and whatever. Assuming someone is crawling with the bare hands, you yourself can imagine how the person will suffer from the house to the bush and back to the house. So we ask ourselves, what must we do so that we'll be able to live an independent life?
It was very difficult for someone to even reach the pump to be able to get water. And we realized that it is very possible for us to have some simple devices that can aid them to have access to these facilities. Before the introduction of those gadgets, people will have to leave their work to support people living with disability because they could not have access to them, they couldn't use them, and they needed people to aid them.
Initially, if someone has put up a toilet in his house, then people would say, oh, this man is trying to say he's rich. But right now, it's not the rich man. It's like people did not know what to do with those facilities. But they have not realized that it is not only PWDs who should even have it. Come on, I should get this. Should in case there is a PWD in my house, it is not World Vision that is coming to actually provide this. Let me provide it myself.
Because the modifications in these facilities will make people living with disability very active in the community. They will not be dependent again. They are independent. They move to those facilities, they are able to use them, and they are able to make an impact on their lives instead of allowing other people to help them. They don't become a burden on anyone. And yet they'll be able to use those facilities very effectively.
The way they change it is better than the one that the normal pump. The way they just make the entrance, it's easy for me to pass inside. I'm able to do it. I can use the two hands at the same time and even fill your bucket.
So you can see that an impact has been made because the hygienic nature of this particular community is being strengthened. They don't go to the bush where maybe you go out and you see feces everywhere. Maybe people defecate in every part of the country. No, that is actually becoming something of the past.
Somebody living with disability will be able to go and fetch water for the family instead of allowing only the able people alone to do the work. So it makes them equal. For me, I feel that it has bridged that gap. That the people living with disability are not always to remain behind and people doing things for them. Now they are also there and everybody, all hands on deck. So if there's anything in the community that needs to be done, people living with disability will also come out with their chest out to do it because they will be able to participate in the development process.
I really had that kind of passion for radio, and that was the first radio station that I joined. It's just a campus FM station. I started my presentation there, and one of the regional FM stations saw the potential in me, and so right now I can say I'm among them. And many people look at me and say, this person should be a role model. So you are inspiring others who thought they couldn't do anything to also do something.
I believe I can help my society by provide to those that think that they can't do anything.
So on the part of PWDs, I realized that people who thought they were actually weak are becoming stronger. People now say, let's approach them, let's meet them, let's call them, let's listen to them, and let's see what they can do. At first, I thought I was weak enough that I couldn't have carried a bucket of water. But if I thought I was weak, now I should know I am strong.